The following is a special presentation of Miami All Access powered by the Miami University Bookstore. Not just a bookstore, the bookstore.
Obviously, today's events, what did the whole statue unveiling, what can that do for this program?
Yeah, awesome day. Having John Harbaugh being an alum is awesome, and then having a statue and just reaffirms the tradition. That's Miami football. Like, the people that play with John Harbaugh, 500 was a horrific year around here. And that's for about 60 years. We had 8 losing seasons in 60 years. That's a pretty good run. When you have a losing season, it was a pretty big deal. So for our kids and our coaches and everyone else to know, like, hey, it's not take a program that's never won and get it back to a winning level. It's the program was always at a winning level. We just got to restore it to where it's always been. And otherwise you could take over a team that had a bad record, but they've had a bad record for 50 years. The task isn't that hard here. It's a great school, easy to recruit to. It's a great place to play football. We got great coaches. We're going to win MAC championships. We're going to go and win bowl games, and you're going to get one of the best educations in the country. Pretty good sell. You in?
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. Just making sure. You kind of look confused there for a minute.
Well,
the kids connect better, though, with somebody who's closer in their
Yes, connect better, and they connect better with anybody that's professional. And John talked to the team and probably said in a different ways a lot of things that we've already been preaching, but NFL means something. NFL player, NFL coach, professional, any professional athletes, and for good reason, just like we did when you really look up to those guys. And not to mean that they don't look up to us or listen to our word, but when John and Jim Harbaugh say things, kids are standing at attention, and for good reason.
you mentioned how this can be done and it shouldn't be that hard, but yet it has been a few years. This program's never had a string like this of losing seasons. Your belief is that, so what? Basically, it's just let's go. We can regain everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Google my name.
Yeah.
I haven't had a lot of losing seasons, and Miami hasn't had a lot of losing seasons, so it'd be different if you didn't have a good sell. It starts with players, right? It doesn't matter the manager, the coach. John Harbaugh won a Super Bowl. He's a fantastic coach, but he couldn't do it with a lot of great players making plays. So if I thought Miami was a place that people didn't want to go to school, it's hard to go anywhere in the country and there's not a tie to Miami. It's hard for somebody not to know somebody, have a son, daughter, niece, nephew, aunt, uncle, and you never hear a bad word about this place. So we're confident that there's still 20 to 25 families out there that want to get a good education. They're not just going to pick a school based on some flashy slogan or some football wins. That our kids go here, they graduate, they get one of the best degrees in the country, and then we've won MAC championships. And we got to get them to believe that we're going to win, that Coach Martin and his staff are going to be good enough to win again at Miami, which we believe it. We got to convince kids. If we can convince them we're going to win, Miami's a no-brainer decision. So we're very confident we can attract great players here.
A few weeks into it now, what have you seen that you've liked, and what have you seen that you know you're going to need to work on more?
Everything for the second question. First question, better understanding. Obviously, you're putting in new systems. That it's not their fault. There's a new coach, there's new systems. So clearly better understanding, particularly the last 2 or 3 days. Kids are starting to be able to self-correct. Like the first 7, 8, 9 practice, they do something. They didn't know if it was right or wrong. And we went to correct them. They had no idea that. Where now, as we're going to correct them, they're already kind of shaking their head like, yeah, I was supposed to drive it here. And that's key piece when they understand enough that they're already mentally making I didn't do that the way I'm supposed to do it, therefore I didn't have success. So, and that's big for the summer because we can't be with them in the summer. So programs that have been established, their kids they can run a pretty good practice on their own, you know what I mean? And they do. Where if they were confused coming out of the spring, they're just going to be getting worse over the summer. They'll all be looking at each other like, what are we supposed to do on this route? So the nice thing is we still got 3 more days to keep getting them to where this summer when we can't be around them, but they can go work on their own, they can kind of manage and continue to work on their craft and improve.
Do you feel like you're getting to a point where when you pick up at fall practice, it'll be a decent starting point for you? Where you
Hopeful.
won't be too far behind.
Hopeful. We'll still behind. There'll still be new systems. It'll still be first year, new players, new coach. So we'll be fighting that for a couple of years. But we know that we're just going to keep plugging away. So I mean, the team, whoever OU or Solich has been there for a while, we're not going to be as ready as them coming in the fall because they've been running the same system. Some of those kids for 3 or 4 years. So we'll be fighting that the first year or so. But that's the nature of transition.
for as bad as the passing game went last year, it doesn't look like the cupboard's bare at all. Frazier was catching almost anything that was near him. It looks like you got some players there.
Yeah, Frazier definitely can catch the football. There's no doubt he's caught it consistently all camp, and he can make tough catches, as you saw today. He caught balls outside the framework of his body, which, as I always say, for $40,000, I'd like to think you could make a catch on a ball that's not right here. You know, it'd be nice to make some catches. That's why we're paying you. That's the whole idea. So he's not the only one. There's been other receivers that have stepped up and have done a good job of making some contested catches. And then, you know, obviously number 12 gives us a chance, because if you're in a good spot, the ball he threw down here to Murph.
You feel like you're moving toward that balanced offense that you're looking for?
We're moving towards it. About 2.5 years. We're heading there. We're a turtle, though. No, we're getting there. We'll be all right.
Bryson Albright's obviously a real high motor guy. I imagine that's come out so far. Yeah, careful, he's right over there. But what are your impressions so far? What you see?
Bryson Albright? My impressions of Bryson Albright. You don't have nothing you got to do this afternoon, right? I've been waiting my whole life for this moment, Bryson. Somebody asked me, what do they think? No. He's exactly what you're looking for at, to me, any level of football, of length. He still needs to continue to put on weight, but most young college kids do. Length, speed, athleticism, and then the thing you talked about, which is the critical piece, is that motor and that energy, and he loves to play. He loves to play. He comes from a great program, you know, but he makes the position he plays better, but he makes our whole team better, because you can always point to him as the example of that's the energy, that's the motor that it takes to be a great player. Not a good player, but a great player. So he's the kid you're always yelling at that he's going too hard in the dumb drill. He's a walk-through drill, and he's flying around knocking people down. But those are the kids you love. I mean, he can't be out of control and hit our quarterback when I'm trying. But that motor and that mentality and that intensity permeates through your whole team, and we wish we had 50 of them. 50 of them.
It looks like their confidence is growing a little bit. They got a sort of an energy to them. I know you mentioned they don't quite have that same deer in the headlight look.
Yeah, no doubt. Yes, it's gaining. And I said you got to build their confidence, but anybody that follows sports, you get confidence by making plays. If the batter goes 0 for 20, you can tell him, hey, you're fine, you're a great hitter, but in his head he's 0 for 20. The guy that's 10 for 20, you know, so they're starting to do it right, therefore they're starting to make some plays and be in good positions, and then you make a play and it's like, hey, I could do this every time. And sometimes it's as simple as that. The kid goes from never making a play, and then he does it right, and it works, and he has success, and then he runs the route right for the rest of his career. He never runs it wrong again, because he finally realized, if I just do this every time, I got a chance. And he goes from being a guy that you watch one day, you're like, he could never play, to a guy like, wow, he's a consistent performer. So we're starting to get some of that, and obviously we hopeful more and more kids will fall into that category.